Frick.
G'day everyone, Jimmy and Crispy here from Heavy Mag, and we are with Kellen and Nick from Sleeping With Sirens. How you going, guys?
We're going good.
Going very well.
That's good. It's been 2 years since we caught up.
2 long years.
2 long years?
Two
You were
very long
actually
years.
first. You busted Jimmy's cherry.
You're my first interview. I don't know if you remember this up in Brisbane. Good
That was your
things.
first interview.
That was my very
You
first
did
interview.
a great job, man.
You were
I
hers
hope
as
I
well,
did.
and she hasn't recovered enough to sit in on this one. She's still recovering.
So what's been going on since then in the world of Sleeping With Sirens?
Man, well, we finished a U.S. tour. We played our second record front to back. It was an awesome time.
It was.
It was interesting going back and experiencing songs that you recorded when you were like, what was it, like 10 years earlier or so?
Yeah.
And then singing those songs at your age now. It was a fun experience, but we got through it and it sounded pretty awesome. And yeah, we probably won't do that again for a while. We did it.
That was it,
Yeah.
Tried it, nailed it.
So how does that go now? Like, because your voice ages over time.
Yeah.
How do you go with that? Is it still managing to get the big high notes you get up to?
Yeah, I do. It just takes a little bit longer to get warmed up than normal. Like when we're doing like the set that we do here, when the songs are more in my range now, it's not as tough. So
Yeah.
it took a little bit of work to get there, but we got there every day. So
How do you go, like when you do an album front to back, like when you wrote it, you would never have thought you were going to be doing that, you know? So like, is it difficult to replicate the little sort of nuances in there that you probably didn't count on?
yeah, I mean, there's songs that we literally have never played ever off that record. So, and you don't have like the crutch of like playing like a set that you normally do where you think about like the dynamics of it and we'll play this song to kind of bring it down and this one to like lift it back up. It's just like you only get those 10 songs, you know? So we did play some at the end, some extra ones at the end, but
Yeah.
And
playing.
you're testing some new ones. How is that? So just talk about that for people who don't perform. What that is like when you are performing a track for the first time and getting the feel of it on stage.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's weird playing a song that has just come out. It's better to play a song that's come out when it's been sitting on the internet for like a month or so than like, hey, this just came out yesterday. It's just kind of an awkward experience, but no, it's good. I think it's good to continue challenging yourself and to keep yourself like moving forward and growing as an artist.
Cool. Speaking of growing, 8th album on the way. Is that correct?
It's in the very early process. We're still writing and kind of like figuring out what we want it to sound like, and yeah, we're happy with the few songs we have so far, but we're pushing ourselves as hard as we can for this one.
Want us to play you a song right now?
Right now.
Sure. Beatbox it or something?
Like, damn, you got like a guitar in your pocket.
We're going to bring some guitars.
What's it like at this stage? Like you're saying, you're just starting out now. Like, do you sit down and do you plan it out, or do you try and get away from what you've done just most recently and move in a different direction, or is it planned at all?
With this record?
Well, yeah, whenever you start a new album cycle, I guess.
I mean, for the last 2 albums, it was kind of like a similar experience. We worked with similar producers, and so they were kind of like a brother-sister album or something, or a husband and wife or whichever.
So they're arguing all the time.
Like gravy and chips.
Gravy and chips.
Yeah.
Well, we
Pizza
all
and
like
shit.
gravy and chips, don't we?
that missed the mark,
But
didn't
this,
it?
this record, we definitely wanted to do something different. So we picked a different producer, and we are just kind of like writing together again, all in one space. And a lot of the albums we've made in the past have just, well, the last 2 have been like sitting in the studio and kind of writing as you go. And this one's more of plug in like you're actually at a rehearsal space and writing that way.
Well, I think it's interesting because that when we just did the Let's Cheers playthrough, it predated when I was in the band, so I had to relearn. I had to learn these songs I'd never really listened to before.
Did you like them when you first had them?
I actually loved it. Yeah, it was cool. But
Quite honest question.
but what I learned talking with Kellen and Justin is that when they wrote that record all together in a room. And so it's actually interesting to see this kind of full circle moment now with this record, that this is the first time we've finally all been in a room together writing from scratch. It's been a really awesome process because everyone in the band is so good at what they do that it's just been a really, really enjoyable time in the studio, because typically being in the studio is not the easiest thing for me, but working on this record all together so far, we've been conjuring up has been just really fun, really therapeutic. So I'm really excited to see where it goes.
So how much difference
I
could
feel
one
like when you're
person?
like
Sorry.
sorry, no, my bad. I just feel like when you're like 8 albums in, it's important for everybody to like make sure that they love their parts and that it's like something that you're very proud of. Because I mean, that's a feat to go 8 albums, and I think that everyone is like just wanting to like really put their stamp on this one.
So,
Conviction, absolutely.
so how was the change in dynamics with Nick coming in as a new member? Did it change the tone of the band, or the feeling in the band?
Definitely. I think like, having Nick join the band, having Tony join the band, having Maddie join the band, it's definitely like elevated our band. I think that these guys are pros and they play really, really well. So it's easy to stand next to them and alongside them. You don't have to worry about them like fucking up or anything like that. So.
And it is like we laugh about it, but we've all been in so many bands, and this is the first band that I've ever been in where we can all lean on each other as, whether it's artists, as friends, whatever it is, and having that kind of dynamic, you can't manufacture that. Like, that's something that you find very organically and naturally, and that's a really awesome thing about our band.
Yeah, and they're all, like, every single one of us is like, we want to just beat everything that we've done before, so
Always.
it's just, it takes a little bit longer now, but it's a good thing.
So you said you're not that far into the kind of writing process, a few songs down. Any kind of exciting collabs or anything out of the box you're working on to be a bit different this time around?
Well, we wanted to ask Billy Corgan if he's still in the
Yeah,
room.
Chase him down, mate. You go that way, you go that way. We'll corner him in the middle.
We did a lot of collaborations on the last record, and I like to kind of split it up where I really am very selfish about vocal parts, so I have a hard time giving those away. I mean, I guess if it's like the right person, then cool, but for now, we're just gonna kind of keep it, I think.
And when you say in particular, what do you mean? Do you mean like the way they sing or the way they work with you on the song, or what do you sort of mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, I just selfishly, like, I enjoy singing my parts and writing my parts, and then also it's tough when you do a collab with someone, because if you're not on the road with them all the time, then, it's weird singing their parts when it's not your voice.
Can't perform it.
Yeah.
Not quite right.
So I think, like, it just has to be the right person, it has to be the right situation, but, we did a lot on the last record, so I think this one we just kind of want to hold it down. Plus, this dude can fucking scream, we got Tony who can sing, we got Maddie who can sing, so maybe I'll just make them do it this time.
So you might do the kiss thing where everyone has a go.
Everyone get their own song.
Yeah.
So because you just talked about, you have done a ton of collaborations. What are the standouts? What's one of your favourite ones?
Well, I think fan favorite would probably be the Pierce the Veil one that I did, and
I haven't heard it.
Oh yeah, you'll hear it a lot coming up soon, dude. And then
You haven't listened to your bandmates' work?
I was kidding.
And then I think another one that stands out for me is off this last record, working with Spencer from Under Oath was pretty awesome, and his voice is just iconic. So that's one that was like one of those special situations where it's like he brought that song to a whole nother level, and without him, it wouldn't have been as cool. So. Yeah.
Sweet. I'm going to throw some random stuff out from the internet here that's popped up over the last couple of days when I'm doing research. So, Kellen, there was a quote I seen come up, and I can't remember which media organisation it was, and I can't find it. But there was a quote that come out that you've apparently said that you are one of the greatest metal vocalists of this time, or something along those lines.
I said that?
Have you seen that?
That I said that?
Something like that. I kind of scrolled past and went, oh, that's interesting. I'm talking to him in a couple of days. I'll ask him. I haven't been able to find it since.
I've heard him say that so many times.
I've got proof.
Maybe
I'll show you the video. I got it.
Maybe in the earlier days when I was drinking too many rum and cokes and going to interviews, probably. I wouldn't doubt myself in the past saying some stupid shit like that.
I actually think it's disappeared because it was bullshit and it was just someone doing some clickbait thing or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be. I mean, some people do clickbait on the internet, So, speaking of that, there was another one I found just before that was about you possibly being the new Linkin Park singer back in the day.
Okay. I mean, I love Chester. I think that he's one of my favorite singers and vocalists and performers, and I don't know that I would ever... No, there's no way I could ever do that.
That was the question. If you could, would you have done it?
No, there's no way. There's no
Wouldn't
way.
want to fill those shoes.
Have you got time for a couple of swings? Or? No.
No, it's hard enough just singing my own shit. I couldn't imagine having it. I would be so anxiety ridden. So hats off to the new singer because she's killing it, by the way.
Well, that was going to be part of the question too, so I think so as well.
Yeah. Oh man, it's awesome, and I think like that was like a great move to bring in someone that just sounds similar in a way, like as far as like the tonality of the voice, but so different also.
Yeah.
I think it like makes it, if you found like a copycat or something like that, it just wouldn't be the same. So.
Okay. All right, I got one very last question.
Jimmy, we've got to
we
go.
done? We got to go?
We're getting
We
yelled
don't
at.
get it.
Sorry, guys.
These guys
Thank
won't
you so
get yelled
much for
at.
having
We
us.
get yelled
Thanks,
at.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Have a
man.
good day.
Cheers.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Colin.